Welcome everybody to the Daily Mastermind. I am Paul Baxter. I'm here with Mr. Chris Bates. We are here to help you grow. That's what Mortgage Mastermind Group is all about, and that's what the Daily Mastermind is all about, is giving you ideas, systems, tools, strategies, anything you need to be able to help you grow your business. Now, at the beginning, I was just talking about it feels like it's been forever since we've had a chance to get together, and so I wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that we've been covering over the last couple of months and find out what it is that you're specifically working on. What are you specifically working on? Where are some of the things that you need some help with? So that we can implement these things. I mean, that's what the mastermind group is all about, is everybody, Napoleon Hill has the greatest quote for what mastermind group is, but basically what it is it's a group of people that come together with the common goal of growing our business. That's what we're here for, every one of us. Nobody's here just to hang out or to make some new friends. We've all got those. We're here to grow our business. And so let's talk about those different things and some of the ideas that I kind of just jotting down and kind of thinking about. I haven't talked to you guys in a little while, and thinking about the things that we've covered recently or in the last couple of months. Really hasn't been a whole lot of conversation about it, so let's have some conversation about those things, like time blocking, making a daily, a weekly, or a monthly schedule. I know that is something that everybody, not just us in the Mortgage Mastermind Group, not just mortgage lenders in general, real estate agents, I mean, you name it, every person can learn and can improve their business through good quality time blocking, managing their day in a better way than being reactive. It's about being proactive on your business as opposed to reacting to things that happen in your business. And so that's what time blocking really brings to the table, is the ability to focus on a specific task and get that done, and then move on to the next task and focus on and be able to focus, truly focus. That's a big deal. A lot of people tell me, well, I'm a great multitasker. You know what I hear when I hear somebody tell me that they're a great multitasker? My first impression is that, wow, that person has a lot of trouble focusing on a specific task. That's what multitasking is basically you're unable to focus on a specific task at hand. So we've come up with this term to make ourselves feel better about it, and we call it multitasking. Well, multitasking is nothing more than it's creative avoidance at its finest. We've figured out a way to do multiple things instead of focusing on the thing that we know is what we should be doing. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Being able to get away from that, that title of multitasker and being able to focus on a specific task. Has everybody heard, everybody is familiar with the term being in the zone? Use it a lot in sports. I use it in my fishing tournaments a lot. We'll talk about, oh, this guy's in the zone. He's bringing fish in So being in the zone basically means that the task or the thing that you're doing, it's coming easy to you. You've got clarity of thought and the process in which you're doing it. Everything is just working out exactly the way you want it to on the task that you're doing. That's what being in the zone is. Michael Jordan used to talk about being in the zone all the time. In an interview that I saw with him, he talked about the feeling of being in the zone in basketball. It made him feel as if that the hoop of the basketball was the size of a swimming pool, and that he could throw anything up in its general direction and would confidently know that the ball was going in the hoop. That's being in the zone for Michael Jordan. For us, being in the zone is being able to focus on, you get into a zone where you're on the phone and you're picking up the phone and you're dialing those potential referral partners, and you get into a focused zone in that, and all the words are coming to you. Every objection that's thrown at you, you've got the answer to it right then and there, and you don't take no for an answer, and you win. Every call you're getting an appointment, and it's seemingly to come easy. That's being in the zone for what we do. And yeah, we can for what we do, even though we're mortgage lenders, we can have or be in a zone that allows us to have that clarity of mind, to have that pure focus on the task that we're doing to be able to accomplish it. And that comes from a good quality time block, being able to focus on your time block and quit the doggone multitasking. That's what, true time blocking is about. And that's something everybody on this call, I know that they're just kind of looking through at who's on with us today. I know that there are some of you who do pretty good at time blocking. I know some of you that are still managing and operating your business in a I hate to say fly by the seat of your pants, more of a winging it sort of fashion, just kind of taking things as they come in your business. I know that there are a lot of you still doing that, and that's, until you can get to where you're time blocking, that's the way that you've got to do it. It's what you're used to. No one's ever shown you a better way. Well, I'm here to talk to you about a better way, and no, this class today is not about time blocking. It just happens that's the first topic up there. Any feedback on time blocking, where it's been successful for you, where you're finding it a struggle to time block, I'd love to talk about it a little bit. I know when we've done the class, one of the big things that I talked about, and one of the catalysts to a successful time blocking campaign, to being good at it, is not trying to jump into it too quickly. They say the best way, if you're going into cold water, just jump in, you'll get used to it quickly. Or, I've heard people say, jump off the bridge and learn to fly on the way down. In some instances, I will 100% agree with that. When it comes to time blocking, I could not disagree more. You cannot learn to fly on the way down with time blocking, because what will happen is something in your business will get in the way of your wings flapping and you'll hit the ground. You just will never make it happen. It's not, I don't guarantee a whole lot of things, but I guarantee you try and jump into time blocking cold turkey right off the bat, just scheduling out your entire week or your whole month, you'll never accomplish it. You won't even stick to 50% of your time block. And that defeats the purpose. That defeats the purpose. What time block actually brings to the table is the ability to focus on your specific tasks and get out of that multitasking situation. It's about focus. That's what the time block is, not so that you know what time you're supposed to pick up the phone and start making calls, but so that you've got that time set aside and blocked out so that no other distractions will occur during that time, so that you can focus on those calls and you can get into that call zone where you're purely focused. You've got complete clarity of mind on the task that you're doing. That's what time blocking brings to the table. And what I was saying is that if you try and jump into it cold turkey, you'll never be successful. The number one thing that will prove to be your success or downfall in time blocking is jumping into it slowly. Set it up just a couple of days at first. Just a couple of days at first. Get proficient at time blocking and sticking to your time block on those couple of days. And once you do that, then add in a third day. Get proficient at following that time block for 3 days in a row. Every week, consistently, you're right on the block. And then add in that fourth day. That's how you become successful with it. That's how you retrain yourself, or you develop these new habits. Somebody on this call probably knows. I think the thing that I saw is I think after 12 days in a row, something becomes a habit, or to break a habit, do something different. 12 days in a row. Is it 12 or 21? Does anybody know? Anyway, it's a saying that a lot of people have had, that it's like 12 or okay. Peggy says 21 days. So it's I knew it had the numbers 1 and the numbers 2 in it. Thank you, Peggy and Terry. I appreciate that, ladies. Yeah. So it becomes a habit after 21 days, or you break a habit after doing something different for 21 days. If it's a habit that you've done for a long time, if you do something different for 10 days and you go back to the old thing, guess what? You never developed a habit. And that's what you're trying to do with time blocking, is create these new habits in your business that allow you to focus on that time. because the focus is where the money is made. That is truly how the top producers, we did a class, and those of you who weren't around when we did it, it was at the very beginning of when we first started doing these daily masterminds. We did a class called What the Big Dogs Do. And in essence, it was a class all about what the top producers, what all of the top producers that I know, that I've spoken with, that I've had one-on-one opportunities with, and literally grilled them about their business. It's the 5 common traits that all of them have. They all do these same things. Time blocking is a big part of that. Time blocking is a huge part of that. Yes, for the top producers, the tops in the biz, they all typically have a team around them. But that's something that they built to. They just opened their eyes one day and said, you know what, I think I'm going to hire 5 or 6 people to do all this extra stuff for me, and that'll give me that's not the way it happened. I promise you that. It's a growth. Growing your business will grow your team at the same time, because you'll get to a point where you've plateaued on the number of units that you can do. As a matter of fact, I know there are a couple of people on this call with us right now today, and I'm not going to call anybody out, but I'm going to tell you there's a couple people on this call right now with us today that have reached that plateau in their business doing it on their own or with a part-time assistant. And the conversation has been, need to bring somebody, need to bring in a full-time person to be able to get past that hump that we're at. It also will help relieve a lot of that roller coaster ride that some people, that we tend to get on in the mortgage business. One month we'll do 7, 8 loans. The next month we do 2. The next month after that we knock it out of the park again with 7 or 8. And the next month after that we got 1. That's that horrible roller coaster ride that we seem to get on at times. Having a team in place, and as you build your mortgage business, knowing when the right time to bring in that team member is, and bringing in the right team member, that can take away that roller coaster ride, because what happens then is you're now focused on the growing of the business. You've now got this extra thing on the side, and now you can focus on the things that brought in those 7 or 8 loans, and quit having to do the minutia that caused you to not do those same things and caused you to only have 1 or 2 loans that very next month. Another thing that we could talk about, and I would love to get your feedback on, is tracking. Not just, and to me is a 2-part thing. You've got the traditional CRM system, which is something like your top of mind. It's something like your BombBomb, your Constant Contact. Some of you guys on here are utilizing Follow My Clients. What is the other one? iContact. There's MailChimp. There's Target Hero. There's lots of them out there. Let's face it, there's lots of them out there, and those are your CRMs. The CRM, depending on what you've got, now I know that there are some CRMs that allow you to have a tracking pipe drive, absolutely, that allow you to have the tracking built right into the CRM. And so what you can do with those kind of systems is not only you upload your list to it, now you've got the ability through that system to be able to track where they are in process. Are they an A agent, a B agent, a C agent? Do I know when to call my B agents? How frequently? Do I have notes to be able to take? Some of those systems are not only the place where it sends out the communication, but it tracks all of that information. Left message on the voicemail on the 7th, called back on the 14th, had a conversation, invited to coffee, not this time, great. So then I call back on the 21st, invited to coffee, had a conversation, invited to coffee, accepted, coffee on Wednesday. That's the kind of tracking that you need to be able to do. And if you don't have the CRM system in place to be able to track those things, then what you need is a call log. And a call log is, in essence, it's an Excel spreadsheet. I'm just calling it a call log. You can call it whatever the heck you want to call it. That's perfect. It doesn't matter what you call it. I put it on here as call log just because it reminds me of what I'm talking about here, which is basically an Excel spreadsheet that allows you to track. And that's what I'm really referring to. A CRM system to me is a system that is that communicator. Okay? It's that place where I can, I can send out my video emails from my CRM system. I can upload my list. I can send out my holiday cards or my, my email talking about the new regulation, or I can send out my weekly video tip like Jeff does through my CRM system. But in terms of tracking, I don't necessarily need to track whether or not I sent them 4 emails or 3 emails this month. What I need to track is, did I call them? When I called them, did they answer the phone? If they answered the phone, what was the conversation? Did I achieve my goal, which is the appointment? If not, why? And what's my next step? Right? And then the very next week, I look at that sheet and I can tell, okay, on the 7th, I called Jeff. I need to call him on the 14th because I'm calling him every week until he's either a partner or not a partner, right? I'm calling him every single week until I get he's a partner or not a partner. And so I need to track those phone calls. I need to know what happened. Did I leave a voicemail? Did I talk to him? The very next week, I got the voicemail again. Okay. And I track those things so that I can look at that and make a determination after 2 months, after 3 months, that, man, I've called Jeff 5 times in the last 30 days, and I've not talked to him one time. I've left these different voicemails. I've left some fun ones. I've left voicemail. He's not calling me back. Guess what? You're off my list. I'm adding James to my list. And now I can track James. So I just put a little X, no return, done. And I move on to the next one on my list. But you can only do those things if you're tracking those calls. Now, help me out here, Peggy. I believe Drive does just that. It gives you the ability to do that kind of a tracking with Pipedrive, if I'm not mistaken. Is there anybody else on the call that's using Pipedrive? I know Peggy is. I was just, is there anybody else on the call that's using that? And while Peggy's answering on, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong though, and I know Peggy's typing here, but what I'm wondering, does it have the ability to track my calls? She says, sure does, and I could use it for realtors too. You can have multiple streams. And that's perfect. That's what I'm talking about, is the ability to have a place where you can, your client follow-up calls are very different than your realtor follow-up calls, but I need to track both of those items. I need to know where in the process people are. I need to know what happened the last time when I call. I need to be reminded that I need to pick up the phone and call this person. All of those different things happen through your CRM or your tracking situation. Jeff, she is using Pipedrive, P-I-P-E-D-R-I-V-E, and Bill is saying he's on the trial version of it, and it will certainly track it, and you can have more than one system, which is what Peggy was saying as far as the multiple streams, and it's called Pipedrive. I have reached out and have been having a difficult time. I've got a friend that uses Pipedrive pretty regularly, and I've reached out to try and have that person, have her come on and talk about it and how she uses it, how it works for her. I have yet to get that locked into place, unfortunately, but I am still trying. Not just for you guys. I want to learn about Pipedrive too. It sounds like a really, really cool thing. Oh boy, Peggy, I'd keep that to myself on that one. Don't give them a heads up. That's for sure. Don't give them the heads up on that. One of the other things that we've been talking a lot about is scripting. Scripts for calls, scripts for your face-to-face meetings, scripts for your videos, basically just scripting, and just have talked a lot about that. And with some of my one-on-one members, part of what we're scripting is not only the script of what to say, but also the scripting of the objections that you're going to hear and how to overcome those objections and keep moving towards your goal. Now, if you're, and that's what a script, to me, and this may sound a little convoluted and pieced together because different thoughts are popping in my mind at the same time here. To me, what scripting gives me the ability to do is focus on what the actual goal is. I don't know about you guys, but when I get into a conversation, it's very easy for me to let the conversation take control of the conversation, or let the conversation guide itself, so to speak. And it's very easy when that occurs to forget what your goal is, or forget why, what the specific purpose of the call or the video or the meeting is. It's very easy to allow the scripting to kind of be guided away from what your goal is. For me, what the script brings to the table is the ability to always be focused on what the overall goal is. What is the purpose behind it? Am I trying to get a face-to-face meeting? Am I trying to get a referral or lead? What is my goal in that phone call that I'm making? And I'll tell you this, don't make a call if you don't know what your goal is. You absolutely have to have a goal in mind and focused on that goal, or you'll never get there. If you call up without knowing that your goal is to have that face-to-face meeting, what will happen is you'll have a 2.5-minute conversation. You'll hang up the phone and you'll go, oh, dadgummit, I forgot to invite them. I forgot to ask about the coffee. I forgot to ask for the coffee meeting. Man, I just had such a good conversation with them too, and I never asked them for the coffee. It's because you got off script. And there's nothing wrong with getting off script as long as you know in the back of your mind that you always got to bring it back to that part of your script where you ask for the business or the goal. You get to the goal. That's what scripting does for me, is it helps me focus on that goal. It also, I'm learning that scripting the objections, or scripting the overcoming of objections, can make it so much easier. Most of us have probably experienced this, and raise your hand if you have. If you haven't, good for you. You're a better man or woman than I am. But you get on a call and it goes pretty well, and you ask for the business, you ask for the meeting, and they throw an objection at you, which is, an objection that you've heard before probably, but for whatever reason, because of the way that it came out, you get a little bit stumped, and okay, yeah, I can certainly appreciate that. Well, you know what, good luck. That whole thing with real estate agents saying that they're already working with somebody. If they say it in a different way than just, oh, I already have a lender that I work with. If they say something different than that, oh man, listen, I've been in this business 20 years, and quite frankly, I've become very, very comfortable with the direction and the way that I do my business, and how how I refer leads for financing. But thank you so much for your time. I mean, that's basically saying the same thing, right? If you didn't know that and you didn't have your answer scripted out, it could be very easy to go, oh, well, I can appreciate that. Thank you so much for the time, and hang up. And then 2 minutes later, you're sitting there thinking about the call, and you think to yourself, oh, man, I should have just said, listen, I know that, I can appreciate that you've been doing things in a way for a certain amount of time, and I don't want to interfere with that. I'm looking to enhance and get you to the closing table more frequently, faster, and provide you with systems, tools, and strategies that can help you generate more leads, which will in turn become more deals, and again, more times at the closing table. And I'm looking to just kind of go over some of those things with you. You can overcome that objection later, after the fact, because it triggers in your mind what to say. But if you have it scripted out and you practice that script beforehand, it comes to you. when the objection comes out, it just comes to you how to overcome it, and there's no pause, there's no delays. You overcome these objections in a way that presents you as an expert. There's that no, don't take no for an answer sort of thing. I saw a guy the other day. How many have even thought about this? This kind of jogged my memory on that. There's a gentleman I know who is a mortgage lender down here in the Florida area. And no, it is not Brian, for those of you getting ready to ask. One of the things that he is known for, he does this quite frequently, as a matter of fact, is especially with like clients, you know, the hard part with getting a client to commit to you is getting that initial opportunity to develop that relationship, getting that initial face-to-face opportunity. Most of them that are going to price shop you, they're going to pick up the phone, they're never going to meet with you, they're going to talk to you on the phone and the phone only. That's it. It's a phone conversation. That's what the price shoppers do. That's what the rate shoppers do. So what this person does, his goal with every phone call, with every client, is to meet with them. Love to meet with you, love to sit down with you to talk about some of the options and talk about what's going to be the best fit financially for your family to help you find the most amount of home for the least amount of money. When can we get together and meet to do that? That's his deal. He loves to meet face to face. That's his relationship builder. I mean, that's what the dude does, is gets relationships. Well, that initial, those first few, you know, you guys tell me this is wrong. He has experienced in his calls or in his vigor to do more business. He has experienced a high volume of people that'll call up and he'll go for, you know, hey, yeah, we certainly can help you out. You know, you're looking to purchase a home, 249, great. Yep, just a few questions. Listen, I'd love to get together with you sometime, sit down with you, talk about some of the options. You know, he goes for the meeting. Oh, yeah, I'm really not going to be able to do that. If you're able to, you know, if we were able to just kind of go over some of this stuff, you know, go over the particulars over the phone, that'd be great. Instead of just saying, that's fine, let's go over the particulars over the phone, when's a good day and time for us to spend about 30 minutes on the phone together to get all the ins and outs. Instead of doing that, he says, oh, that's okay, no worries, I completely understand, everybody's a little bit busy. One of the things I can do is let's do an online meeting where, because there's several things I need to show you, several documents and things that it's much more, you'll have a better understanding of the whole process and what it means to you financially if you can see it. Why don't we do an online meeting? Same time, Tuesday, 2 o'clock, between 2 and 2:30, fantastic. All you've got to do is sit in front of a computer. You could do that, great. What's the best email address? I'll send you over a link for our online meeting. So now what he's doing is he's doing a Skype meeting. Or he'll do just a regular join me, just depends. Typically he does a Skype meeting because what he wants to have happen is face-to-face. So now you're on a computer, the person is feeling, you know, he got that appointment, that face-to-face opportunity via computer, doing an online meeting via Skype. Instead, no, it doesn't work for 100% of the time, but a very high percentage of the time, those people that didn't want, you know, didn't have the time or didn't want to meet face-to-face, he's now got that opportunity to meet with them in an online meeting, which is pretty much face-to-face, and now he can still do the relationship and rapport building that he typically does because he can now see that person. He can read their voice, you know, their facial expressions. He can kind of get a good idea of their body language based on what he's seeing on the screen, much more so than just taking that phone application or doing everything over the phone. Really, really good idea. Is anybody else on the call doing online meetings with clients or referral partners? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? One more Bueller. I'm going to take that as a not. Really cool idea, guys, and quite frankly, doesn't really cost you hardly anything. If you've got a laptop computer that is newer than 3, I normally say 5 years old. If you have a laptop computer that's newer than 3 years old, you have a webcam built right into your computer. You've got the equipment you need already. A lot of times, depending on the phone that you've got, you can do it via your telephone as well. If you do a Skype on your phone, you can also do it there if you've got the camera that faces both inside and out. I personally think it's a fantastic idea, and it gives you that opportunity for those that are maybe a little more difficult to get that face-to-face meeting with, especially clients when you're doing application. Do an online meeting with them. That way you can see them, they can see you, you make it real, you become a real person. People that shop that way, that are doing the phone shopping and price shopping you, they don't meet you because they know they're going to get sold if they meet with somebody. So give yourself that opportunity to meet with them, even though it's online. Videos, we talked about that a few minutes ago. Simple editing, hosting, sending. I know my man Jeff is a guru. I know my girl Peggy dabbles in it a little bit. We're gonna get back to consistently with video with Peggy. I know Bill is doing videos on a regular basis. I've seen Alan play with them a little bit. James has talked about it a little bit on getting involved with it. There's some technical curves that some people have that others maybe don't struggle so much with the technical side of things. But any way you slice it, the more you can do video, the more you can brand yourself as somebody different, differentiate yourself from the flock, make your head stand out above the crowd, be that giraffe amongst zebras, so to speak. The frequently you can do that, the better everything else that follows it is. So what I mean by that is you send a video consistently every single week, every single week, every single week, every single week, every single week. Now when you make that call, they can place a face with the number. No, it's not going to necessarily win you the deal or get you the appointment or get that person to fall in love with you, but it certainly gets you past first base. It's a warmer call now than if they had never seen you before or if you had just been emailing them. It warms them up. It gives them an idea of who you are and what you're about, and it's branding you as different. It's going to make, not on every occasion, but on a lot of occasions, it's going to give you a better opportunity on your phone calls because they see you as different already. They recognize your name from your videos, especially if you stay consistent with it. And Peggy, I completely understand that, and again, my entire heart and prayers are with you. Editing your videos, I think that's the part that most people have a hang-up about with video marketing. Well, there's two things. The technical side of it, doing some editing stuff. That's one. The second one is they don't like the way they look on video. The editing stuff, it's a learning curve. There's nothing, quite honestly, I don't know why for the most part, you really don't need to have any editing. You really don't, for the most part. Now, you're going to get to a point where you're going to want to have your phone number roll in there. You're going to want to have your name scroll across there. You're going to get to a point where you're going to want to have some flashy, bangy, whizzy stuff flying around the screen. You're going to get to a point where you want to do green screen. Yep, you're going to get to that point. But that is not where you dive in to video marketing. You dive in by doing the easy thing. Take your smartphone out of your pocket and record yourself. That's it. One straight shot, make a script for it, borrow one of our scripts. I mean, for goodness sake, we've got plenty of scripts, and we've got plenty of people on here who are video marketers that would be more than willing to share their script. But that's how you get started. Just pull out your phone, make a quick video. Let that be your first video. Then after a couple of months of being consistent, doing it nice and easy like that, add in an element of editing. After a couple of months of that, add in an element of, sandwiching or editing another video into your video. And then add that element of green screening. It's adding elements. You don't just jump in cold turkey, guys. It's one of those things that I don't recommend you dive in feet first. Don't dive in and learn how to fly on your way down with this. There's no reason to. However, on the reverse side of that, hit the easy button. Just do the easy thing. It doesn't have to be highly produced, and trust me, less than 2% of loan officers are doing videos and they're marketing. Less than 2%, right? So even just a little recording of you saying, hey, I just wanted to say hey to you this week. Thanks. Remember, I'm your mortgage guy. Call me if you have any mortgage questions. That 14-second video right there is a video, and it's better than the not video. It's better than everyone else's video who didn't do one. So just get started in the easy fashion. Hit the easy button. Nice and easy, short, sweet, nice and easy. Record with your webcam. Record with your cell phone. Upload it to YouTube. Share the YouTube link. Easy. Don't do the hard stuff yet. We'll worry about the hard stuff after you've become consistent. And trust me, you're going to want to, because what you'll start to see is you'll start to see some result. You'll start to recognize that the people you're sending your video to are a little warmer to you than they were before. You're going to start to see that when you walk into a real estate office, a couple of people will say, hey, I know you. You're the guy from the video. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And once that starts to happen to you, you're going to get that hair. You're going to get that inkling, oh man, I got to do more video. This is so much fun. This is great. I want to do this. I want to try this now. And you're going to try new things because it's fun. It really and truly is fun. I highly recommend that if you have not done video before, go shoot your first video. Just shoot it and upload it to YouTube. Go to YouTube, record it directly into YouTube. If you don't know how to do that, I want you to email me and let's get together, because I will tell you this, I firmly believe that video marketing is the thing, that is one of the biggest things you can do to differentiate yourself from the other lenders in your area, is get those videos in front of them. That reminds me, and this is, something just popped in my head, Jeff Kirkpatrick. It just popped into my head. I meant to mention this to you, and I don't know why it just popped into my head, probably because we're talking about video marketing and getting them sent out and things like that. One of the things I noticed, Jeff, that you said in a comment from Facebook earlier is that you were following up with those that opened your video, which means that the system that you're sending that video out of has what's called a tracking pixel. And what a tracking pixel on email does is it allows you to send out a batch of emails, and it tracks who opened, how many clicked on the message inside once they did open, and all of those different things. It tracks what happens with the email once it leaves. The reason I'm bringing that up to you, Jeff, is because recent news about email servers is that, so Google was the first to do it. Yahoo has now done it. I believe Hotmail is doing it, and several others are doing it. Depends on your server, but it's almost around the board that all servers are doing this now. And I'm talking about the incoming server of an email. So, Jeff, if you sent me your email, there is a higher than likely chance, because it has the tracking pixel on it, that email, I don't know, you'll have 3 different inboxes in Gmail. You've got your primary, you've got your social, and you've got your promotion, right? Those are the 3 email inboxes that you've got. Primary are people that you email back and forth with. You can also tag a promotional email to be in the primary box. You can do that. It's easy enough to do, but it's something that would require that I come in and I actually click this email, and then I would have to come over here to the email type, take it out of, so now I've unpromotioned that, and then I would have to click apply here. I don't want to click apply here. I want this to keep going into promotions, but I physically have to actually do something to make that happen. Now, the reason I am bringing this up, Jeff, is because, and I know Outlook is different, it doesn't have 3 boxes, but with a tracking pixel on an email, it is now being either labeled as spam because of the tracking pixel on some emails. In Gmail, it's being automatically made. Anything with a tracking pixel is being sent to promotions. Okay? It requires, now, if I have emailed back and forth with you before, and you send that with the tracking pixel from the same email address, it'll still show up in here because you're added as a contact, and contacts will always go to my primary. But if I've not responded to it, if all ends are equal, you've just uploaded it, with that tracking pixel, it's being forced to promotions, again, on places like Yahoo and Outlook and Hotmail that do not have the 3 different boxes. It's just automatically being marked as a spam, which would require that you go in there and unspam that. Are you guys hearing me okay? You guys hearing me okay? Jeff's saying I'm breaking up really bad. Is it? What about now? A little better or same? Better, good. Hold on, bear with me 1 second, guys. Just hang in there with me 1 second. Is that any better, or is it still about the same? When I plugged back in, it gave me a little ping. Yeah, crap. Okay, worse. Okay. I hope it's not my internet connection. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, any audio connection restored? Okay, it's telling me my audio connection is now restored. Is that any better? Yeah, that's what I'm using is the headphones. I'm actually on the headphones right now. I don't know. I think I may be having an internet issue. I apologize, guys. I can actually hear it now coming through. That's still the same. Oh, man, I don't know what to tell you guys. I believe I'm having a little bit of an internet issue right now. I apologize wholeheartedly. Restore but not improve. Just keep going and watch for questions from us. Okay, I will, Jeff. And again, I apologize, my friend. The short answer to your question from above, as far as should you be sending from Gmail, no, I don't think you should be sending from Gmail. The issue, and I think this comes back to what you and I had discussed a little, not terribly long ago, about the number of openings that you're getting, the number of people that are opening and actually seeing your video. I think that has to do with the tracking pixel that's being incorporated there, Jeff. I think what's happening is that you're getting into a lot of inboxes based on communication with those people, based on their responses back to you, based on their, your communication back and forth. But I think a lot of the people on your list are not actually even seeing the email to be able to click the video and watch it because of the tracking. Now, if you take like a lot of the bigger companies, like I don't know for sure about MailChimp, I don't know for sure about BombBomb, but I do know that a lot of the bigger email server companies are now taking, we're using a service on the back end. We're using a service to send out, we're paying a company to send out emails for us to loan officers nationwide. And one of the things, this is how I learned about this, was we asked, hey, we'd like to be able to track that. We want to know how many are opening, how many are opening versus not opening. I don't need to know who, I just want to know how many. And that's when I was explained the whole situation with the tracking pixels and how it's actually getting into spam folders because of tracking pixels. It's getting into promotional folders because of the tracking pixels. And so that's not, it's actually turned off on this service that we're using, and a lot of the big ones are doing that. So I'm not going to tell you to switch, Jeff, but it's something to look into or to think about moving forward, is finding out, is there a way to turn off that tracking on that? Because I think that may be what's keeping your view numbers a little lower. Okay, so Bill is saying the same thing. Jeff, Bill is saying BombBomb is a problem. I now text my videos. And you know what? Bill and I talked about this quite a bit the other day. And that could be a whole class. Maybe that's what we'll do class on sometime this week is texting. Guys, I'm going to tell you, it's so different than just regular emailing. Yes, we all get our email on our phones and all that stuff. So what he's doing, the question is, how do you text it? How do you text videos? You send a text with the link in it. You can go to your video on your phone, and you can click your share option on your phone, and then you just choose whether you want to share it via, I think, Twitter, on mine anyway, Twitter, Gmail, text, Facebook. There's all the sharing options on your videos. And the one dilemma that Bill says is you can't send a bunch at one time, and that's always been a major dilemma. I will tell you out. Yeah, I can tell my internet is really ragged. Close my control panel. I can't see it. Holy moly! I'm having some internet issues. What were we just talking about? My videos are not. Paul's become a Martian. But yeah, I probably sound like I'm underwater. I apologize, guys. Bill Rogers wants you to check out a new service called CallFire. What CallFire does, SMS text messaging. You can send bulk SMS messages where it appears that it comes from one person. You know how, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten the text message where a bunch of people are on the same text message, and then every single person that replies, you're included in that until you leave the conversation. What CallFire allows you to do is it allows you to upload a list, and you can send a text message to the entire list. One text, the entire list, but it's not a conversation type thing, meaning it's one text to one person. So if I send a text to everybody on the call and Bill replies, well, Jeff doesn't have to see Bill's reply. And excuse me, sorry about that. So not everybody has to see all of the replies. Really cool service, and I think they do it based on it's you pay per send. I believe I think it's like pennies a send. It's pennies, James. It really doesn't cost much at all. Let's look at it. Well, we're here. We'll dive in. Sign up for free, of course. We don't want to sign up for free. I want to know how much. All right. So it's 5 cents a minute, or that's the free version. Yeah, so 5 cents per text is on the free account. You end up paying 5 cents per text. Now, if you wanted to do the $100 a month, $100 a month gives you 2,500 minutes / texts. The reason it said minutes / texts, CallFire also has a very similar system to what PhoneBurner does. I'm sure all of you, most of you are familiar with what PhoneBurner does. CallFire has the same kind of thing. You upload a list, you pre-record a message, you begin your dialing. You have X number of talk time. It'll start burning through your phone. It starts dialing all your numbers or firing the calls off, so to speak. If it gets a voicemail, leaves the voice message, boom, starts dialing the next. It's very similar to what PhoneBurner does. That's why it says minutes / texts. But I would use this just for the texts. At $100 a month, you can send 2,500 texts in a month. Okay? So easy enough to do and very cost effective, quite frankly. Very cost effective, quite frankly. What is that, a quarter, 0.25 cents per text? Anyway, it's not much. I didn't. I'm looking at what's on the screen here. I'm just looking at what's on the screen here. So it says 5 cents per minute's text, and then the $100 a month shows 2,500 minutes or texts. So you can send 2,500 texts for $100 a month. If you get the unlimited, you can send 20,000 texts for $600 a month. 5,500 texts for $200 a month, and so on and forth. Looking for higher volume, call us for a quote. It's actually a really good service. I think the texting is not the wave of the future, the wave of right now. I was talking to somebody a couple months ago. They had been doing, everybody's familiar with the agent marketing system, the single property website stuff that has the text for information on it, right? Everybody's familiar with that. So he had gone full bore at it and got like 15 signs in yards of real estate agents, did the website thing, the whole 9 yards, and then did the little signs in the yard where it said, for more information, text 1234 to 79564. Had like 15 of them in yards, and he started getting people were texting for information. And the first 2 weeks, he was just frustrated as he could be. the conversation we had was, man, Paul, it's working, I guess. I mean, I'm getting people that are texting for information, but about 85%, 90% of the people that I call, their number, you know, I've got it set up. I'm going to do the calling for the agents. When I call them, I get their voicemail. So I leave them a nice little message that says, you know, hey, this is Paul over at ABC Mortgage. I was following up on you requested more information on 123 Easy Street. Would love to help you and answer any questions that you may have, or even schedule a time for a showing. Nice, easy, short message, right? No one returned a phone call. I said, here's what I want you to do for this week. I don't want you to return any phone calls this week. Instead, I want you to send a text message. When you get the text for info, send a text message saying the exact same script that you were leaving in the voicemail. Hey, this is Paul from ABC Mortgage. I see you text for more information on 123 Easy Street. Please let me know if there are any additional questions that you would like answered. I'm more than glad to help you answer those questions, or even schedule a time for a showing. I can't remember the exact verbiage, but you guys get the gist. Sent that as a text. Did that for a week. Instead of 90% of the people not picking up the phone and returning the call, all but about 10 or 20% of the people were returning that text almost instantly. And what he was discovering is that people were more willing to get into a text conversation, and that text conversation can lead down the path the same way as a phone call can. It was the comfort level. If they're going to text for more information, they have tipped their hand. They've shown you their hand on where their comfort level lies. Because I guarantee you, the text for information is on this sign, and I guarantee you the real estate agent had the big for sale sign with the pretty picture, with the pretty picture of the pretty real estate agent and a big glossy phone number, all in big giant letters. You know, for all information, call me for a showing today, and a big phone number on there. Well, they didn't dial that, did they? They picked up the phone, they picked up their cell phone, and they texted for more information. They showed the comfort level. So he communicated back with them in their comfort zone. Well, lo and behold, guess what happens? They're interested in texting back, and he said you'd be amazed at how freely and willingly people are willing to share and discuss via text, much more so than they are via the phone. But what it did is it led him to asking the right questions. Great, I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. First question I have for you is, what's the name of the real estate agent you're working with to find your perfect home? Oh, we're not working with a real estate agent, LOL. Cha-ching. That's fine. Is $249,000 within your budget that you've got set aside for purchasing a new home? Yes, it is. Fantastic. What's the name of the loan officer you're working with that has you pre-approved for that amount? Oh, we haven't done that yet. Cha-ching. Well, part of what I do is help people to get the right amount of home for the least amount of money. I'm kind of known for helping families save the most amount of money in the long-term life of owning their home. I'd love to speak with you about how I can help you purchase this $250,000 home and save money in the process. Now he's asking for that appointment. So text. Guys, I'm going to tell you, don't be afraid to text. If you start seeing text, play with it. Have fun with it. The next time you want to call a couple of your real estate agents, split them in half. I challenge each of you to try it. Pick up the phone and call 5, and then pick up the phone and text the other 5. And just kind of see what kind of response you get out of both. I bet you $1 you'll get some response on the text stuff. Is there a way to text from our computer without CallFire or another system? There absolutely is. Did you know have? This up again. I can't imagine that you guys are hearing very well. I can tell my computer is just running like freaking molasses. And I don't think it's my computer because my pages are opening. It's my go-to meeting or my go-to webinar that is stalling out, so I apologize. And this is the last thing I'll show you, and I'll let you guys run for the day. So if you have Google Voice, Jeff, you can you set up a number, and getting your numbers is it's you can send texts though. So there's the call button, there's the text button. So if I wanted to text, I would just bring in one of my contacts. So there's my contact who I want to text. And notice that it automatically put a comma after it. I can send up to 5 at the same time. I can send up to 5 texts at the same time. Now those are a conversation text, so everybody would get the same thing, and when one responded, they'd all respond. But I can now send a cool text from Google Voice, right? Here's my video. Make sure to check it out. And then I come over to my YouTube video. I go over to my YouTube video. Eventually, I'll make it to my YouTube video. As soon as my computer catches up with me, I'll make it to my YouTube video. I click on my video like I'm going to watch it, and I get my little share link. And then I include it in my text, right? So now I've included that. So now I just sent a text to Jeff Kirkpatrick, and he's going to get it. He's going to have a link to the video that he can just click and watch it. With that, I could pre-type my reply. You absolutely can. You can have a little Word doc that you've got all of your replies on, and then you just come over and okay, so James has a great question, and I've got to clarify that when they would that go into my Google Voice system or into my cell phone? Well, I have my cell phone connected to my Google Voice phone number, because all of the calls, if a call comes into 747-221-6649, it rings 3 different phones. And by the way, on the back side, Chris, if you get a phone call, somebody asking for Paul, they're calling that 747-221 phone number. It happened one time that Chris actually answered the phone before I could get to it, and he connected his phone to the Google Voice number as well, so it was just a little funny situation. But yeah, if Jeff texts me back now, what's going to happen is, because I've got my Google Voice connected to my cell phone, I'm going to actually get that text coming right through my cell phone here as well. In my inbox, I would have as well, right? There's the text that I sent to him, okay? So I've got that record of it. So if he texted me back, I'd still have a record of it here, but it would also come to my cell phone because I have my phone connected, my cell phone connected to my Google Voice number, right? Good conversation today, guys. I appreciate it so much. I cannot apologize enough for the computer issues going on today. I hope you guys were able to hear clearly. I hope it's not too terrible on the recording as well. I look forward to seeing you guys all right back here, same time, same channel tomorrow. Gmail account, which is not my mother account. I don't use the number that is in my mother account. Can I get rid of one? That's a great question, Peggy. I have no idea. We'll have to play with that together sometime. When you get a free opportunity, let's plan on getting together and dive into that a little bit and see if we can't find that solution. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think so, but but we can certainly dive into it and find out. I don't know the answer to that. We'll have to dive in and play with it a little bit. All right, guys, girls, thank you so much. Thanks. Y'all have a good day. And again, Peggy, I love you, and I'm praying for you. Guys, girls, we'll see you right back here, same time, same channel tomorrow. Have a great day. Oh.